Here at our great millstone, Atlanta. All right, this is Gamal Yala.
Karatazar,
All right, and first and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah,
Yahawah,
BAHASHAM,
BAHASHAM,
Yahawashi,
Yahawashi,
BAHASHAM,
BAHASHAM,
Rakakwadash.
Rakakwadash.
All right, double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, now this is a quick lesson. All right, now we're going to go into Daniel 7, and we're going to start at the 7th verse, basically going into Rome. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna basically link it up. We're gonna prove that this fourth beast in Daniel. Okay, we're gonna basically link it up with other scriptures and prove basically that the Roman Empire is Esau and that Esau is the so-called white man. Man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because hey, and that's one of the reasons why they want to get rid of this apocrypha,
Yeah.
or why they did get rid of it. All right, is because it's you can't touch it. You know, it links up too well,
Yep.
and it's an easy identifier of who is who.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can go straight into it, or if you wanted to add anything.
Now we can go right into it. So this is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7. And it says, "And after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it."
Right, and that fourth beast, you know, it said dreadful and terrible, so that means number one, it was very strong, which it took over the Greeks. Okay, well, first of all, it's talking about Rome. Okay, and the Romans took down the Greeks. When you read up in verse 6, it talks about the leopard.
Yep.
All right, which is that's Greece, and it says the four wings of a fowl is the Alexander's four generals.
Yep.
Okay,
Dealing with Ptolemy, Cassander, Las Americas, and Seleucus.
that's right.
Yep.
You got it.
But just having more clarification on Daniel 7 and 7, because it says it was dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. That's dealing with the might and the strongness of the Roman army. Okay, because the Romans conquered a lot of kings and leaders and inserted dominance over them. So if you came up against them, and they basically took you out, man. And if you wanted to, matter of fact, we just go dive into the scriptures because the scriptures speak directly on it. So this is First Maccabees chapter 8 and start in verse 1, and it says, "Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men." So these were stories and or things that Judas was hearing about the Romans. Okay, so that word was going out and spreading about the dominance of the Roman Empire, man. And it says that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them. And that, when I read that, that reminds you of exactly of how America is.
Right.
If you want to join forces or be in league with America, or make treaties or agreements with them, they're with it. But as soon as you're not on the same page or same terms as them, they want to take over.
Become your worst enemy.
Yep.
And that word amity means a friendly relationship. So right here it says and make a league of amity with all that came unto them. All right, so like you said, they do have a lot of allies, but like you said, those enemies that I mean, they're vicious, like just like the American military. That's why it's likened unto the United States. All right.
But you had more.
No, that was it. That was it on the definition.
All right, so this is back in First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 2. And it says, "And that they were men of great valor. It was told of him also of their wars and noble acts, which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute, and what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there, and that by their policy In patience they had conquered all the place, though it were very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, they had discomfited them, and given them a a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. You see, so this is showing you the dominance of the Roman Empire, man. And it says through their policies, which
Right. Yeah, we'll get that.
Yeah, we can get that. Daniel 8, 25.
25. This is right here. It says, Daniel 8 and 25. It says, and through his policy also shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. And that's how you know that that was this talking about, because it says policy. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll jump up to 24. It says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. Yeah, so, and they use that policy, okay, to push their agenda, man. Yeah. Same thing with America.
Same thing.
Okay, they will use.
Yeah, it's back up.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that was Satan, man. But yeah, they use their laws and legislations, which we're gonna get into as far as their structure, all right, because they were actually the first republic, okay, and they did things differently from every other. That's why it says this beast was diverse.
That's right.
Which it'll get into as well.
Kind of. So I'm gonna go back in Daniel 7 and 7, because that was pretty much the point on how it's showing you that how the Romans had dominance. And you could search up, it looked like movies such as like 300. You got certain movies and articles dealing with how Rome was a great army, and even dealing with matter of fact, I'm gonna just read it. Daniel 7 and 7, and it says, after this I saw the night's vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. You see, so even dealing with the iron, when you go into the different kingdoms that's described in Daniel 2,
right,
as well, when it speaks about iron, that was speaking about the Rome, I believe. Okay, which proves that when you're dealing with iron, a lot of them use iron.
The toughest,
it's like the toughest element, one of the toughest elements. So they use it for their swords or shields, in war, man. Okay, you don't really see a lot of military going to war with gold or silver. That symbolizes royalty, man. Okay, but iron, is a more thick, sturdier type of element, man.
That's right. And you had the first five emperors being Augustus. Let me see. It was Augustus. I know Nero came a little bit after. It's Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero. All right. So these were the ones that basically ruled during this formation. All right, and yeah, so that was the Julio-Claudian dynasty. All right, you want to go back to Daniel 7?
Yeah, time. Continuing, it says, it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Yeah, so it basically stamped the residue with the feet of it. So the all the residue, basically it took over all the other kingdoms before it. Okay, stamped, basically did away with every likeness of the Grecians.
That's right.
All right, and diverse from all the beasts that were before it. Like we said, matter of fact, we can keep reading.
So this is going back to First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 16. So like I started at 15. It says, moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house. So this is still speaking of the Romans. It says, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered.
Boom. Now, the Senate house. All right. Now, you know, that's obvious. That's an obvious link up that is talking about Rome.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no way you can get around that.
Right. Because prior the previous kingdoms, you know, such as the Babylonians, the Medo-Persian Empire, which the Persians came out of that, and the Greeks, they were all, you know, lineage. They dealt with the family lineage, man, with who came up next in rulership.
And I got on Wikipedia the Roman Senate. It says the Roman Senate was a governing and advisory assembly in ancient Rome. It was one of the most enduring institutions in Roman history. Yeah, it's still going on today.
Yeah.
It says, being established in the first days of the city of Rome, it survived the overthrow of the Roman monarchy in 509 BC. That's pretty much. It says, during the days of the Roman kingdom, most of the time, the Senate was little more than advisory council to the king, but it also elected new Roman kings. So basically what this was is there were elected officials.
Yeah.
Okay, that the king, you know, the king couldn't just really
rise up
and you know, he had to really get permission.
Yeah.
You know, to rule on certain things, you know. They were an advisory council. You know.
There's one more verse in this First Maccabees, verse 16 says, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. You see, so they voted in, you know, who they wanted. The same thing that America does, man.
Right.
Except for it said here they did it every year, but now America, their elections every 4 years.
Yeah.
You see, it's the same thing, man. America has a Senate House, man.
I got something right here. It says, during the early republic, the Senate was politically weak, while the various executive magistrates were quite powerful. Since the transition from monarchy to constitutional rule was most likely gradual, it took several generations before the Senate was able to assert itself over the executive magistrates. All right, so they had to basically gain power over the years. It says, by the Middle Republic, the Senate had reached the apex of its republican power. Okay, the late Republic saw a decline in the Senate's power. So the Senate started off weak, and then towards the middle of the Republic, it says it grew strong, and then towards the end, became the decline. It says, which began following the reforms of Tiberius and Gaius. So that was the point on that.
Okay. So that was it on First Maccabees 8. We can go back to Daniel 7 because we want to prove basically how you know, these were Edomites, man. Okay, dealing with Daniel 7:7 about that fourth beast. Because continue. It says, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So we just went into the diversity of it about, you know, dealing with the Senate House, and how the Caesars was basically voted in. Okay, so from there we will go to 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and verse 1. And it says, then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads. Okay, so we know that we know that eagle here dealing with in 2nd Ezra 11 is speaking of, you know, the Roman Empire. Okay, if you get your phone, Baba Kashal, can you put up? Can you search in Google? I forget the exact term, but just type in Roman eagle, or you know, because even dealing with 2nd Ezra 11, we know that that's going into
Aquila.
The Aquila. You know?
This is the Aquila right here. So that was their symbol.
Right.
Here's another one. There's a couple of them.
Same as America, man. That's why we can link up the scriptures and say that America is Rome all over again, man.
Yep. And just like, of course, you got Obadiah. You know,
Yep.
it wrote.
Yeah,
it
we can
mentions
get
the
that
eagle.
too.
Yeah.
Obadiah chapter, I think it's verse 3 and 4. You know.
Yeah,
But,
because the eagle, and the eagle is the highest flying bird.
Bird, exactly.
It's the top predator amongst birds.
Yep.
Okay. So no, it's no wonder why they like to symbolize that that particular bird.
Because it's proud and it shows its dominance because it looks down upon basically all this prey, man. Okay, and that's the same thing dealing with the Rome dominance with its military and America, man. So while the brother is getting that in Obadiah, I'm gonna skip down in Second Ezra, the 11th chapter, because that's why the brother mentioned that they took this book away because it directly correlates with what's in the scriptures, man. But it says, verse 38, "Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?" You see? So this is in Second Ezra, the 11th chapter. It says, "Are not thou that remainest of the four beasts?" The four beasts they're speaking of in Daniel, the 7th chapter, man. Which is that fourth beast is who we're going into, the Roman Empire, man.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it links right up.
It links directly
It says,
to it.
Obadiah 1 and 4, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord." Yeah, so there goes that eagle like we were talking about.
Yep.
All right.
That's that same eagle, man. Which, like we said, America and Rome, both symbols was the eagle, man. So this, I got another precept, a quick one, in Second Ezra chapter 12, and I'll start at 11. Verse 10 he says, "And he said unto me, This is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle, whom thou sawest come up from the sea, is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel," man. You see? So that shows you that the eagle is dealing with the Roman Empire, man. And who symbolizing themselves after the eagles? It's
The eagle today.
the Edomites, man, the so-called white man. This is directly correlates with it, man. Okay, so that was, I think you had something.
That was really it.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the point.
This was really just a quick touch up, and we really just wanted to reprove Rome, according to Daniel 7, and going to a couple quick. This is basically just a quick hitter breakdown, but yeah, we'll end off with that. Lord willing, you brothers were edified. And we're going to end off by giving all praises to Yahawah, by Hashem YAHAWASHI, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.
Shalom.